Hey, thanks for checking out the video. This is Sho, and before I get into this, I just want to give a quick disclaimer on what this video will cover. So, I've finally gone through Digimon Survive, and needless to say, I have a lot of thoughts on it. And these thoughts likely can't be compounded into a single video. For this reason, this video will function as a typical TAC review of the gameplay, specifically on the SRPG aspects. I will make a separate video more akin to my AI Somnium Files video once the post-Chapter 5 block gets lifted. Also, I terribly apologize for how late this video has come out. I've had a very hectic August so far, and yeah, just apologies for that. So, with all of that said, let's jump in and try to survive this Digimon game. For the uninitiated, Digimon Survive is a long time coming project that has been teased for the better part of, 4 or 5 years or so? Aside from the SRPG tactics-based gameplay we saw, we literally had no idea what this game would be like until its release, where we actually learned it is a visual novel with tactical gameplay elements. If you're familiar with the Utawareru Mono series, then you'll know exactly what you're getting into. Just don't expect the same level of depth and quality. Now, I know someone out there will want to know a little bit more about the story right now, and for now, I will just leave it at 3 key points. First, it starts extremely slowly. Check out my first 4 videos of the Let's Play to confirm that. 2, it is fairly dark and uses a lot of Japanese horror elements, but at times doesn't really feel like an actual Digimon game, especially if you look at the original Digimon World games or even the Cyber Sleuth duology. Third and finally, the choices you make do at times feel a little pushed, and it suffers from Mass Effect syndrome, where one option can generate almost a completely different response as intended. With that said, I did find the overall experience enjoyable, but it's probably not something I would suggest for a newcomer to these types of hybrid visual novels. But again, more on that in a future video. With that out of the way, let's just get into the performance, visuals, and audio. A lot of people were asking about this in the comments of my first thoughts video, and the short answer is there are no issues on the Switch. However, some load times might be a bit longer by only a second or 2 between certain scenes. It's nothing that harms the experience. You will not have any lesser experience playing this on the Switch. With the visuals and audio, I still stand by on what I said in my first thoughts video. The game looks amazing with some excellent visual direction a la Famicom Detective with those visual novel scenes. And when you switch over to the SRPG battles, it has a very fine kind of chibi HD sprite which invokes an excellent atmosphere, which when paired with the game's audio is just fantastic. So you have a nice, audio-wise, you have a very nice eclectic mix of chill, relaxing slice of life with some really good, energetic battle themes. In all, it is a solid game in terms of its gameplay. Don't worry about your experience there. Digimon Survive is a visual novel first and foremost. So in terms of visual novel gameplay, it offers an experience akin to Danganronpa. You will have an investigation and a free exploration section that you'll jump between, and, well, I guess to say, however, they function in basically an identical way. When you're in these scenes, you'll have a cursor that you can use to select various parts of the screen. This in turn triggers events, opens up conversations, can get you some items, or even trigger a battle depending on where you're at. Additionally, there are various zones you can move between via a world map, and if you kind of click all over the screen, you'll be able to find hidden items by holding out your phone and just tapping the right and left bumper buttons to cycle through possible zones. Otherwise, the visual novel offers a moral choice system where your choices either change your harmony, wrathfulness, or moral parameter. This choice system directly connects to the Digimon types, with harmony being vaccine type, wrath or wrathfulness being virus type, and moral being data type. This also attends to a affinity system that determines how close your main character Takuma is with the various casts that are around you. Now, speaking of these Digimon, your partner Digimon you have will be with you for the whole experience. They can be spoken to within visual novel sections, however, most Digimon, including your partner Digimon, are utilized during battles most. So, let's talk about that, the battles. In the simplest way of speaking about it, Digimon Survive employs a serviceable tactical battle system. Battles play out on a grid board with units occupying a single square. You can select up to 6 Digimon per battle, and as most per tactics RPGs, you have your usual slew of actions. You can move, use items, and attack. And that's basically it. In order to add an additional level of strategy, you have your typical elemental circle of weaknesses, and the weapon, or I guess type triangle, where vaccines eat viruses, viruses eat data, and data beats vaccines. Okay. You also have your usual directional bonuses of attacking from behind and the sides, and height plays a huge role in your movement and attack ranges. Additionally, the aforementioned affinity system has Digimon with high affinities supporting each other during their turn. This typically manifests as either getting a bonus to their attack damage, providing a follow-up attack, or just giving a slight heal recovery at the end of the turn. Finally, you have a talk command that is limited to your partner Digimon's use only, and this usually provides a huge buff during one battle. However, there is another function which I will touch on in just a moment. In any case, the general mechanics of the core system are extremely bare bone, and it will be familiar to anyone who has picked up the simplest of tactics RPGs in the past. This simplicity is further complicated with a series of simple and uneventful battle maps that are honestly bare bones themselves. So, if you're looking for a more in-depth tactics game, this is really not it. Well, fine, let's talk about the Digimon themselves. Survive has a total of 117 Digimon, though the last 4 are exclusive to the early purchase bonus. All Digimon fall within one of 3 types that I spoke of previously, and each only has 2 skills to use during battle, their basic attack and their special move. Yes, that is it, only 2. You can equip your Digimon with a skill item that allows them to use extra moves, but basically you will only ever have access to 2 skills during battle. Naturally then, you'll need a diverse lineup. So, to get new Digimon into your party, you'll need to talk with them a la SMT Persona conversation style, hence that talk option I mentioned before. During battles, your partner Digimon, which is a Digimon who has one of the main cast next to their icon, can trigger the talk command. This opens a dialogue with the targeted enemy where you will need to answer 3 questions in an attempt to boost their happiness bar over 50%. If you manage this, you'll be given the chance to ask them to join you or to get money or items from them. The chance to join is contingent on how high their happiness bar is and the specific character's morality. For example, Aoi and Minoru are more harmony-based, so they will have higher chances for success with vaccine types, and so on with the rest of the cast. Also, just to pop this in here, Digimon can be trained using items to permanently boost their stats. This helps balance out the roster as it feels that the partner Digimon are slightly stronger than the Digimon you recruit in the wild. As for Digi evolutions, I will be 100% clear. There are 2 ways to do it, and both ways are permanent for your entire run. Yes, once you Digivolve one of your Mons, you cannot undo it, so if you're coming over from Cyber Sleuth, don't expect backsies. As for the how, this is relative to whether your Digimon is a partner or not. Digimon you befriend in the wild need to use stones or monument items obtained from exploring or battles. Each Digimon has specific evolution paths, so just choose the one you want to and let it rip. In regards to your partners, this is actually based on the morality system 100% and what part of the story you're at. At certain milestones, your partner will evolve based on the combination of morality stats, which typically whatever's highest will determine your next evolution. So, if you really want Greymon with Agumon, you'll need to keep to your harmony choices. For me personally, I went a little too hard in Wrathfulness by accident and ended up blessed with Tuskmon, so yeah. Finally, it's important to note that free Digimon always remain in their evolved form during battles. Your partners do not. In order to use your partner's evolutions, you will need to evolve them during battle, which consumes SP per turn. Closing out this section, the gameplay systems of Digimon Survive are serviceable, however extremely simple and basic to the point. There is nothing you really need to learn or understand about this battle system. It's as straightforward can get, down to the point of, honestly, boredom. I understand that many people enjoy a more simplistic experience, but this game just lacks any creativity you would find in any typical tactics RPG. You have very limited customization through items. You cannot craft unique skill sets or builds per Digimon. Rather, each Digimon has its own specific moves, and you just need to deal with it, which I suppose could be an interesting challenge for the player, given the limit of slots per battle, but... all battles allow you to change the difficulty before you commence. This honestly invalidates any game-stopping challenges and makes it so you can cruise by very easily. This is in stark contrast with many other similar games in the genre that require key strategies at later levels. With Survive, they pretty much threw that out the window. Even on normal and hard modes, only the stats of the enemies get adjusted. There are no changes to the actual AI behavior. So in most cases, you can very easily take down one or two at a time with focused fire, and then gang up on the boss at the end if you need to. And honestly, that doesn't really help much considering with the boss's AI, I've watched quite a few cases where the boss just sat there and let me heal up for the better part of 3 turns as I went to grab a chest off to the side of the map, and then write my live review, and then come back with a fully healed team of 6, which I used no items to drop hammers on the poor guy. This is especially the case with the free or recruited Digimon. As they begin the battle in their evolved forms, they take no SP drain or penalties when used in battle. Plus, the power differences between the various evolution stages, for example, between a rookie and a champion, which is only one evolution, is so vast that the champion will always come out on top, regardless of type disadvantage. So you can very easily get a few stones, grab yourself a Seedramon, and just go ham on everyone and everywhere. Now it's also worth another mention again that the map sizes are really big and there's nothing there. They're really simple and boring in that matter. This really infuriates me because in many cases the AI would actually try to run away. So I would have to blow 4, 5, or 6 turns just chasing them to the other side of the map to get my win. So I guess this is why they introduced an auto battle system to, I guess, ease the monotony of grinding. You know, I suppose, yeah, it does help mitigate the monotony of the battles because the strategy does basically boil down to move forward with the big boy and then spam your specials till you're out of SP. Then just jump over to some regular attacks and drop a bandit if you want. Honestly, I never needed to think during any battle. So for some, this might be nice. For others, it's going to really be a bore, especially if you keep that game speed at normal. Just do yourself a favor and max out the game speed, turn off animations for attacks. You will thank me later. I would say it's hard to cheese a game that's, default state is pretty much cheese, but virus type Digimon. If you're one of the lucky ones who got the Guilemon with the early purchase, congratulations, you have beaten the game. I mean it, virus types are broken early on and even up into the late game. Most of the time you'll be fighting virus and data types. Virus deals 100% damage to other virus types and 150% damage to data types, so that Guilemon will carry you through most of the game. Considering as well that most of, if not all of its attacks to its evolutionary stages are ranged attacks. Ranged attacks in any tactics game is OP, but in Digimon it may as well just be the end-all be-all. For instance, my partner Agumon's champion evolution was a virus type, the Tuskmon I mentioned before. The special skill went from a ranged attack Pepper Breath, when it was Agumon, to a close-up attack called Slamming Tusk. This basically meant I lost that height and that distance check, which in many times made me consider not digivolving Agumon during battle because the range of Pepper Breath is like 4 spaces apart and goes up 1 level. It works extremely well when Agumon is hiding behind a tankier Digimon like Deltamon who's taking the hits. So if you're looking for a really simple summary, stockpile a nice set of range-based Digimon and then try to get a really powerful virus type early. spam all your training items, you will be set. I suppose this won't be my true final thoughts, as I plan to make another video once the ban is up. However, speaking solely on the gameplay side, Digimon Survive presents the player with a series of bare-bones systems that make for a very monotonous gameplay loop. While I did enjoy what the game had to offer, at times it just felt too disengaging. Even though that the visual novel elements are taken front and center, there are just many other similar visual novels that offer both engaging, well-paced stories with more complex and strategic gameplay. Now, as a fan of the series, myself included, I think it's likely worth your time, especially if you want to see some classic Digimon. However, for people looking to try out a hybrid visual novel strategy game, this is something I would have a bit of a difficult time recommending just based on the gameplay alone. Anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for checking out the video. Again, I do apologize for the delay with this video. I've had a very intense situation at my work for the past few weeks, so I was hoping to get this out sooner, but I just couldn't get it done. Furthermore, I do want to discuss the story in more detail, but I want to respect Bandai Namco's wishes, as I do enjoy what they do as a company. So kudos to you, Bandai Namco, and please re-release Xenosaga and the original Digimon world. Otherwise, this is Show, and if you want to send your love, a comment, like, or subscribe is the best way too. With that, I will catch you in the next video. Cheers!